Hello, I just got home from work and I wanted to stop by and share a little bit with you about the EcoFlow mobile app, as I promised I would do in a past video. Now, the EcoFlow mobile app is very important because you can't update your firmware on your EcoFlow unit without it. So it's a necessary thing to have. So let's look at the EcoFlow app and see just what it can do and what it can't do, and then let's see how we can use it with our solar generator. Some people have said that the EcoFlow mobile app doesn't work. Well, I'm here to tell you it does work. It's just there's some little quirks about it that you need to be aware of. So let's look at what it does and what it can't do. First of all, let's look at how you have to set it up. We're going to look at some pictures, some actual screenshots of this app during this demonstration and discussion. Okay, first you have to download the program from the App Store or from the Play Store, depending upon what device you're using for your tablet or your phone. Then you have to make sure you choose the right EcoFlow unit, in this case, in my case, the 720 Pro. But once you get it right, you'll end up seeing it with a picture that looks like this. River Pro with a green bar across showing the amount of battery life that you have. Then it'll change to the actual unit where it shows that you have how much battery life you have, the temperature of the unit, input and output, whether your EcoBoost is on or off. Then you'll see the different inputs you can control: the light, the AC units, the USB ports, and so forth. There's a button for specifications as well, where you can see the specifications for the unit. All throughout, there's various pages of specifications, as you can see here. The input specs, the output specs, and so forth. In the settings menu, you'll find an update button. Click the update button and choose the latest firmware update, which is indicated by a red dot. And then click update. Of course, here it's letting you know that you won't be able to use the unit while you're updating. So make sure your unit is ready to be updated. Next, you'll see the little bar come up, the progress bar, where it says it's updating to the latest firmware version. First up in this update, it's updating the AC outlets. As you can see in this next video, see the AC outlet is flashing. It's doing some updates and giving it the latest software. Next, when you get about halfway through the update, you see the progress bar there. It's still updating nicely, so you don't have to worry. Although it was getting a little bit scary at this point, because now all of a sudden it starts updating the battery and the screen on the unit goes down to nothing. But this is natural, this is normal, it's doing its thing, updating the latest battery information. And then all of a sudden it gets to the end and poof, your firmware is updated and you're up to the latest version. That's a big relief, but you got to do it sometimes. Now, there is one thing that this app has trouble with, and I don't know if it's really the app or if it's the EcoFlow unit itself, but for some reason it will come disconnected sometimes while you're trying to use it. And then you have to go all back over again and reconnect it to your local Wi-Fi. That's a problem because you're in the middle of doing something and all of a sudden you can't use it. You got to reconnect it, but you always can reconnect it. And when I was doing the firmware update, I was afraid that it was going to come disconnected and ruin the unit, but it didn't. It stayed connected while it was updating the firmware, and that's important because you got to have your firmware updates. So this is a very good app. It does have its quirks, but that being said, everything works. The lights, the AC outlets, the USB ports, the DC ports. It reports on the battery's state of charge, as well as the battery's temperature, and you can look at it from your phone from anywhere in the house or anywhere within Wi-Fi range. So it does as advertised, but it just has a problem with becoming disconnected, and it's probably because the unit itself doesn't have a good Wi-Fi radio in it. If you're listening, EcoFlow, update your Wi-Fi radio, get a stronger one. Probably stay connected then. Anyway, hey, thanks for taking this few moments with me and learning about the app. We'll talk to you again on our next EcoFlow presentation.